All right, so Totenreich is just around the corner. Comes out on April 30th, and I just want to go over my thoughts and hopes for this map because this is through marketing. I feel like this is a very great map so far, and this could have the potential of being top of the list for a lot of people. And I'm just hoping it will. I'm hoping they deliver on it. We'll go over some things. We won't go over like in a list and stuff. We'll go over like pretty much what it's setting out, and then we'll go over good and bad and stuff like that. Maybe not bad, just like more of like hopeful, because since it's not out. So the setting, so what we know so far, it's like a Norse fishing village in the Dark Ether, set in kind of like a Norwegian area. I don't even want to pronounce it, but it's looking pretty cool with the lighthouse and stuff like that. And it looks kind of like a Viking, the medieval type of stuff, which is kind of cool. There's also like a lighthouse, and then there's some callbacks to Origin Robot. As you can see in the trailer, there is the Origin Robot fighting now it's confirmed Shadowsmith, which is kind of cool. Group 935 is there, which is interesting. I want to see how that works. And then obviously, it's in the Dark Ether, which is always so cool. Why I'm excited for this is because of the Norse Viking aesthetic. I think it's super cool. Obviously, we had some kind of Norse Viking aesthetics before. We've had like castles and prisons and temples, even space stations, but we never really had like a full Viking village, so this will be kind of cool. Group 935 being involved, obviously this ties back to the classic zombies OG stuff, so this might be really cool to see how it's all tied in. I hope we do see some stuff from like Chaos Story, because I think that would be kind of cool. I think this is obviously going to be a big map, which I think it's going to be cool, which, I always like big maps. I like Paradox Junction because it was kind of tiny, but I obviously want small maps to come into play into a zombie game at least once. And then I want the main focus is to be larger scale maps. Astra Melora was pretty good size. I think it's a little bit, it's obviously a little bit bigger than Paradox Junction, which I'm okay with. It's like medium-sized maps. I want every map to be large, but I don't want it to be like Ashes of the Dam or Terminus and stuff like that. I don't want it to be like super large. I want some medium-sized maps, and then obviously I do want at least one or two small maps to kind of break it up. I think since this is Richtofen's map, it would be kind of cool to see how. Obviously, we had some hints of, him winning the war and stuff like that, and in his universe, and then he got taken away. So I'm just kind of hoping that we see more of that lore, and hopefully it expands upon it a little bit more. Obviously, we saw the giant enemy take out the Origins robot, which they kind of confirmed in the announcement notes that it's the Shadowsmith. So I want to see how that ties to Richtofen and stuff like that. Obviously, we had the other two Shadowsmiths that were connected to Dempsey, Maya, and then Nikolai. But I just want to know how this one ties into everything. Like, is it something that Group 935 made? Is it something that it's just part of the Dark Ether? We'll see how that works. Obviously, this is kind of throwback to Origins robot vibes, because you got the towering figure, and then at the end of the cinematic trailer, he pretty much stomps on the crew like in Origins, which is kind of cool. I do hope the Shadowsmith is not just a bullet sponge. Obviously, we've had some great bosses this year. I don't think I don't think BO7 had any bad bosses besides maybe Astra Melora, but it made up in its how many phases, and it was kind of difficult, so I feel like that's not as bad, because I do think the Ashes of the Dam was pretty cool. You use the truck majority of the time, and then the Paradox Junction, you do those three things, those three like mini games kind of, to have the twins sing the song, make his shields go down, which I think is kind of cool. I hope this Shadowsmith, since it's in an icy place, I hope it has like some kind of like freeze ability and stuff like that. I think it'd be. So we saw there's a new enemy, which is probably going to be an elite, which is kind of cool, or special. It doesn't matter. The Necropincer, which is kind of cool. It's like looks like an undead Viking warrior, and he's holding like a trident, and he stabs with the giant trident, and then the claw is super cool. And obviously he throws the weapon, which is kind of cool. I think it'd be cool if that ended up being like a extra wonder weapon, which I don't think it will, but we'll see. And then this is kind of like one of the more unique enemy designs, and it kind of fixed the maps because like the last time we had this, besides BO7, because I feel like BO7 they've been really doing well in unique enemies. I feel like the last time we had this was in. I think the only time we really had it was in Terminus, because Citadel Daymore did have the Doppelgas, but to me it didn't really fit the castle aesthetic vibe, and Reckoning had Klaus, so Uber Klaus, and that kind of did fit the vibe, but I mean, at the same time, it didn't because it felt kind of like pushed into it because part of the Easter egg, you also have to fight the Forsaken in the Uber Klaus, which, I don't know. But this one kind of fits the vibe of like Viking, Norwegian, cold, stuff like that. I think it'd be kind of cool. I hope it's not too tanky because a lot of the elite enemies in the past couple games have been really tanky, and I feel like BO7 is kind of dumbed down a lot, which is kind of cool because pretty much the only like elite we have is the bear in Ashes, but I mean we do have the the Uber Klaus in the Mars survival map, and then we also have Oscar in Astra Melora, but I don't really consider him an elite. I just feel like he's a menacing foe, like kind of like George Romero was in Call of Dead. But I do think so far his weapon or his playstyle is kind of cool. I just hope it's not too tanky because I don't like tanky things. Like a lot of people didn't like the shock mimic from Paradox Junction, but I didn't mind it too much. Obviously, I did mind it because it was to a certain point because it was a reused zombie elite zombie from special zombie from older games, but it didn't have as much health, which I liked. Like I liked that you could take it out pretty much in 2 hits with the wonder weapon, and then it's gone for a couple rounds, and I think that's pretty cool. I hope his weak point is pretty cool. I hope his weak point is Shadow Blast, which that would be kind of cool. I think it would be kind of cool if you could take off his claw, like shoot off his claw like the Mangler, so you can't use it, or the Trident arm, so you can't use one of his abilities. I think that would be kind of cool. I just do hope they don't boss spam this. They haven't done that since BO6, which I'm glad for because the bear in Ashes is fine, and then 2-3 of the bears come out not at the same time, but like one at a time later down the line, which is kind of cool. I feel like it's good. All right, next we got to talk about the wonder weapon. It's called the Jotunn Star. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that okay. But this is like the first time we've seen a wonder weapon that's a melee since Citadel Daymore. I think it's so cool. To me personally, I feel like the wonder weapons that are melees are so much cooler than the regular ones. Like I liked a lot of the World War II wonder weapons. I even like the axe from, I think it's Mauer to Totenreich or Forsaken, one of the Cold War maps. But this one is pretty unique. I think it's kind of cool. I think it'd be kind of cool. It's obviously, you can have melee hits. You get the lantern swing, flame charge, which is kind of cool because you can drain essence from killed enemies, and then it stores into the weapon to provide warmth, which would be kind of cool. So I'm hoping this is a wonder weapon that takes place over your melee weapon, since it's technically not really a wonder weapon. It's more like a wonder tactical kind of thing. I think it'd be kind of cool. Obviously, then you got the flame tendril. So when two or more fully charged lanterns are being utilized, a fiery cord connects them and slowly drains the life of anything that gets in the way. It's pretty cool. So this is a co-op mechanic, obviously, for me, but I think it's still pretty cool. Then obviously you got Flame Strike, which is discharging, so that'd be kind of like the jet gun from B. I obviously think melee wonder weapons are cool. I wish we had more, and since this is kind of like a co-op mechanic type of weapon, I think it's completely new, and I think it would be super awesome. It was pretty good, and I just hope the warmth mechanic since it's tied into the weather system on this map. I feel like having, this in your back pocket would be good. And I wonder how long it lasts. Like you charge it up, Is there like a certain time limit, or is it until you use it, or what, or until you get hit, or like would it be like Widow's Wine type of thing? Like when you get hit, you use one of them, stuff like that, or like fully charged. Is it full when you fully charge it? That means you get no slowdown from the weather, or and then you get lower. So if let's say you get 3 out of 3 charges. If you get 3 out of 3, you are fully immune to the weather system. You won't be cold at all. And then let's say you get 2, you're still somewhat cold. You will get cold, but slowly. And then at 1, you'll get more. And obviously, if you have 0, cold the fast, which would be kind of cool. I hope the quest to obtain it is fun, and I hope it's more lore driven. I think it'd be kind of cool if they tied into the Necropincer. I think that'd be cool. I think if somehow just tie it in to make it look good. That's my main thing. And I hope there's a way to like upgrade it and stuff, not just through the pack punch. I feel like a quest would be cool, kind of like how we had the blunderbuss in Paradox Junction. I hope there's like an upgrade quest to make it better, and it's pretty fun to do it. All right, and then there's a new trap, which seems pretty cool. We haven't had like a trap that's not basic since like forever. So it shoots 3 jets of flame, obviously it costs essence, and then it acts like a heat zone, which is kind of cool. So effect from effects, and then let's see. I hope there's not just one of them. I hope there's like I hope there's like 2 or 3 on the map, because if there's just one, I feel like a lot of people won't go to it, especially if the main training area isn't over there. Then why would you go over there? And I do hope that the heat zone is large enough to actually be useful instead of a tiny whatever. It's like, why even? Thing I'm looking forward to is the weather system. I know this weather system we haven't really we've seen it before. We saw it with the Christmas event in Jingle Hells on Astra Malora, but it definitely fits this a lot more, and I'm okay with it coming back as long as it's good, which is this. Obviously, temperature is plummeting, and then your visibility going down the drain, and then your movement slows. And then there's frost zombies, which is kind of cool. And then you can obviously counter it by getting inside or fighting. I think environmental hazards are always awesome. Obviously it's not like, the fog from Transit where it's just a environmental hazard, but it's not really that hazardous. It's just can't see it. Or like the fog from Call of the Dead. But I do hope it is good. And obviously it's a full weather effect that affects your speed, your vision, and zombie spawn. Obviously, there's multiple ways to do it, so it's not just a punishment, which I think is kind of cool, because you can just obviously plan around it. And obviously, the frost zombies as a special round enemy type obviously is better than, having the Ravagers from the first 2, which I think. I hope it doesn't happen too frequently. I hope it is just like a dog round. I think it'd be cool. I think it will just be a dog round, and I do hope the frost zombies are actually threatening and just not reskin zombies that are slightly different just because they look different. And I do hope the vision of the cold is like not just like a flashbang from multiplayer. I want to make it. I hope it's good enough so it looks cool, but it is like you can't see as much. Obviously, the field upgrade, it works well with this since this is the wildfire, which is a fire it's kind of like a napalm burst kind of thing, but as a field upgrade, field upgrades don't excite me as much because I really don't really use them. I use them, test them out and stuff like that, but that's all I do. Obviously it has all the augments. I don't really want to go through them, but obviously this goes well with the cold map because it's a fire thing and it could warm me up, which would be kind of cool. The new main quest comes out on the day of the April 30th, 9 a.m. Pacific time. You get the Ambition Richtofen Operator Skin, calling card, 10,000 XP, Mastery Challenge for another calling card. So you can obtain the intel and a 3rd calling card, another 10,000 XP, and then anybody who complete the main quest before directed mode gets the unique calling card. And then obviously there's curse stuff, so if you complete, you get the Jade Legion Pack-a-Punch camo, calling card, Crimson Legion, Pack-a-Punch camo, calling card, and 20,000 XP, and then the Heliotrope Pack-a-Punch camo, calling card, and 25,000 XP. I think since this is the Richtofen map, obviously the Richtofen Operator Skin is just going to be the same as the other ones. He's going to get his soul back, but I do feel like I feel like these are great, and I hope the story of this map pushes the story even further. And since it is mentioning 935s, I hope they do mention the old story a little bit more. I know they started doing that with Paradox Junction and all the other maps, but I do feel like this is like the map to start doing it and maybe lead into Chaos. I think that'd be kind of cool. But I do hope this Easter egg is pretty good, and I hope it's not boring. I hope it is, not maybe not a lot of things to find, but like a good majority of it. Like I would say Paradox Junction was probably the best Easter egg we've had so far, and I hope they add on to it. How about that? Obviously, with this update comes the Mr. Bach Legacy weapons, which is just like it's just obviously the legacy weapon. I think they only do the one. I think it's the MP40 that's supposed to come back, but I can't remember. I think that was leaked, but I'm not 100% sure, and I can't find it in reason. But legacy weapons, I think would be kind of cool. The only issue I have with it is, can you get camos on it? Like, let's say since it's only the box, so it's only in the box. Can you get it in the box? But also, can you get it, add a camo to it? Like, let's say I want to put my infestation camo on it. Can you do that? Can you get it? Can you get it for that? I'm not sure, but I do hope with these legacy weapons, I feel like they should. I just feel like they should just add it to the game as at all. Like I feel like I don't know. I feel like some of these legacy weapons from BO6 just add them into zombies. Like I understand you don't want to put them in multiplayer because you have to balance and stuff like that. But if you could just put it in zombies, fine. But I feel like they would need to approach this a little bit better, but I do understand why. And since it's going to be a legacy weapon in the box and it's at ultra rarity, so it's just going to, and they said it's just going to be as powerful as a wonder weapon. I'm just hoping it is good. I do hope there is a return to giving us like more secrets within the map. I'm hoping there is another wonder weapon, not just the lantern melee weapon. I feel like, give us the Wonder Wolf or something like that. Like, I understand, like, it's been reused over and over again, but I think it'd be kind of cool to, if you do a reused wonder weapon or reused mechanic, add a new one too. So since we're getting melee wonder weapon, add the Wonder Wolf. I think it would be okay. I think a lot of people would be okay. It's like when they did Shadow Veil. Obviously, those are those two, the Rega Mark II and the Wonder Wolf are reused things, so that it's not as the same, but it's kind of the same. Because the Rega Mark II is used for the Easter egg, the Wonder Wolf wasn't. So I feel like if you do the same thing, just add the Wonder Wolf or add something else from whatever. A Norse theme thing would be kind of cool. It'd be kind of cool to use the Trident from the Necropincer, but I don't think. I hope it. I don't know. I hope the map could be an S tier map, and obviously the Norse setting in the Norwegian area obviously is pretty fresh for zombies, and it's kind of cold. We haven't really seen a cold map sent to Totenreich in BO4, so it'd be kind of cool to see how their take on it would be. Obviously, lore I think would be the most exciting thing. I'm more excited on if everything connects. If everything connects, then that would be the greater. But it obviously could be an S tier map if Treyarch does it right. So I'll be playing obviously on day one. So just let me know what you think and drop a comment what you're most hype about and let me know. Peace.